A Melbourne man accused of gunning down 2 police officers in a barrage of bullets more than 20 years ago is expected to tell a trial he wasn't there, a court has heard. Key points. The prosecution in Jason Roberts' trial told the court they expected the accused to say he was not at the scene. The prosecution in Jason Roberts' trial told the court they expected the accused to say he was not at the scene. Mr. Roberts has pleaded guilty to 10 armed robbery charges, but maintains his innocence over the officers' s. Mr. Roberts has pleaded guilty to 10 armed robbery charges, but maintains his innocence over the officers' s. The court heard details of the final moments of Gary Silk and Rodney Miller outside the restaurant where they were. Jason Roberts, 41, today appeared in the Supreme Court of Victoria accused over the slayings of Sergeant Gary Silk and Senior Constable Rod Miller at Moorabbin in August 1998. The 2 police officers were staking out a restaurant they believed might be the latest target in a string of armed robberies when they were gunned down shortly after pulling over a car on Cochrane's Road. Sergeant Silk was shot 3 times and Senior Constable Miller was shot once. Mr. Roberts has pleaded guilty to taking part in 10 previous armed robberies with his then-girlfriend's father, Pleaded Debs, but maintains he had nothing to do with the 2 police officers. But the prosecutor, Ben Ihel QC, told the jury that the evidence would show it was likely the Silky Emperor restaurant was the next target for the 2 men. Within a short time of that car being pulled over, Sergeant Gary Silk lay on the grassy verge. Senior Constable Rodney Miller lay dying on the footpath, Mr. Ihel said. Mr. Ihel told the jury that the accused man was expected to claim he wasn't there, but that prosecutors would prove otherwise. Debs had a tendency to carry out armed robberies with another armed offender, but specifically, the accused man. When the offenders were intercepted by police, they each had a powerful motive to avoid detection and apprehension. We say this tendency form of evidence will help you in determining the question, which really sits at the heart of this trial. Was the accused present with Pleaded Debs at Cochrane's Road when the s occurred? It is highly improbable that Debs would have set out alone. Final moments of police officers detailed in court. The court heard that 11 shots were fired from 3 different guns, one of which was from a police-issued firearm. Prosecutors told the jury that the other 2 guns, a .357 Magnum and a Webley and Scott handgun, had previously been identified by victims as being the same type brandished by Debs and Mr. Roberts during the armed robberies. Sergeant Silk's body was found by 2 other police officers, who were also staking out restaurants, in the moments after he was shot. Silk's police revolver was still in its holster at the back of his trousers. It had not been drawn, Mr. Ihel said. He was laying there with his head about 4 meters from the edge of the road. It would seem that he never had a chance to draw or fire his weapon. Senior Constable Miller was later found outside the Silky Emperor restaurant, about 170 meters from where he and his partner had tried to pull over the car. He had been shot, ultimately fatally, and was in severe pain, Mr. Ihel said. The jury heard that the dying police officer's colleagues tried to comfort him in his final moments, and it was then that he told them there had been 2 people involved. Although in pain, he was both lucid and responsive, Mr. Ihel said. He told the other police that there had been 2 offenders, saying variously words like 2, 1 on foot. He said, "Get them, I'm F**********, Ed," and they were on foot. As he was being loaded into the ambulance, one of the police that was there recalls Miller again saying, "Make sure you get those C*********s." Mr. Roberts' defense lawyers are expected to make their opening statements to the jury later this week. The trial continues.